Function overloading allows you to define multiple functions with the same name but different parameter list. To pass arguments to the function, we are having two different methods. So we are having two different methods called call by value, call by reference. Call by reference. In call by reference, a reference or the alias to the actual argument is passed to the function. Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of problem solving using C++. I am Sanjana, faculty of BCA department, Vidhyaashram, first grade college, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So now we are at unit 2, modular programming. In the previous session we learned about what do you mean by function, what are the different types of function. So we learned what is a function, how to declare, what is the definition and how to call a function. So today we will be learning about the recursion, the function with default arguments, the inline function, function overloading, call by value and reference, and last the math library function. So the first one we will be learning what do you mean by recursion. So what is a recursion function in the C++? So recursion is when a function calls itself to solve a problem. So a recursion function means it is calling itself. Typically involves a base case to stop the recursion and a recursive case where the function continues to call itself. So a recursion function contains a base case as well as a recursive case. So there will be a base case and recursive case. So the base case is where the function stops calling itself. It is the case where the function stops calling itself, and the recursive is where it repeats calling itself. It repeats calling itself. So now we are having a syntax where we can see the return type, the function name, parameter, and here the base condition, that means a base case, and in the else part we are having return, function name, modified parameters. So this is the base case and this will be the recursive case. So this is the syntax for recursion. So let us see the example how recursion works. So now we are having a simple example of a factorial. So we know in mathematics the factorial of 5 is 120. So we can say 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 equals 120. So if you ask the factorial of 3 means, what is the factorial of 3? It is 3 into 2 into 1 which equals 6. So these are the factorial of a given number. Now here I have taken 5 as a number. So how this program works? Let us see here. Here you can see I have taken the return type as a int, means it is having a return value, and the factorial int n. So this factorial is the function name I am giving. Factorial is the function name. And here the parameter what I am passing is the int n. The parameter what I am passing is the int n. So next, as I said, we have taken the factorial function name with the parameter int n. So here I have taken if condition n equals 0. So this is the base case. I am taking n equals 0. So we should know that the factorial of 0 is 1. The factorial of 0 is 1. So the base case what I have taken here, it returns 1. I have given return 1 because if n is given as a 0, it will return 1. So that is the base condition. Next we are having else part, return n factorial of n minus 1. So here we are having a condition or a expression n, the asterisk means into the factorial what the function name and n minus 1. So this is the main part, this is the main thing in a factorial function. Int number is equals to 5, the number what I have given is 5. See out, factorial of number is factorial number, it will be giving the output 120. Here I am passing the factorial function, the factorial recursion function in the cout. So now how this works in the program. The first thing what I have said is a base case. So now the first thing it will do, it will take factorial, the function name factorial of 5. So the first thing, the base case takes factorial of 5. Next it calls factorial of 4. The 5, next it calls the factorial of 4. So first it will repeat, as the recursion means it is repeating. Next again it will call the factorial of 3. The 4 will call the factorial of 3. Next the same, the factorial of 2 and the factorial of 1. Now we are at the factorial of 1. Now the factorial of 1 gets executed. Next it will take factorial 0. Now we know if it is 0 means it will return 1. If it is 0, it returns 1. Right? The factorial of 0 is 1. So now the condition checks up to it is matched. The condition up to it is matched. Now it is calling from the 5 to the thing, it returns 1. After calling the base case, so now we are at factorial 1. So what is the factorial of 1? It is 1, right? The factorial of 1 is a 1. Now it will go, again it will back call. It will back call. So now we had factorial 5, factorial 4, factorial 3, factorial 1, factorial 3, factorial 2 and factorial 1. So this is about the base case. Now the calling backward, the calls it will go like backward, it is called as a recursive. Now we will be having the factorial of 1, that is 1 into 1, which is 1. The factorial of 2, that is 2 into 1, which is 2. Next the factorial of 3, that is 3 into 2, which is 6. Next we will be having 6 into, next the factorial of 4, we will be having the 4 into 6, which is 24. The 4 into 6, which is a 24. Next we will be having the factorial of 5, that is 120. So we have given the factorial 5, so we will be getting 120. So in this way the recursion takes place. First the base case executes factorial 5, it calls factorial 4, so the call takes place. Again in the recursive way it takes place. It will go backward giving this thing. So this was about the recursion. Next we are having another type of function called function with default arguments. A function with a default arguments allows to specify default values of a parameters if the caller does not provide a value for those parameters, the default values are used. So as the name say, it is a default value that we are giving for a function in a parameters. So these values will be taken as a default in the arguments. So how this works? Here in the syntax, return type, the function name, parameter type and the default value we can take as much as we want, and here we will be having function body. So let us see an example how this works. So now we are having #include iostream using namespace std. Here you can see I have taken a function with a void greet. Greet is the function name and void is the return type, and this is the default arguments or default parameter I am passing. The default arguments I am passing. So here I have taken a data type called string and name guest, int age is equal to 18. So I am passing two arguments or the parameters 2, that is a string guest and age 18. Next, cout hello, hello in the double quote, and I am passing the name variable that I have taken as a default argument, and also the age variable which I have taken default argument. So this is the cout. In the int main, here it comes int main. So now what I am doing, I am calling the function. Now I am calling the function what I have defined. So what is the function name? The function name what I have defined is the greet. So here greet, the name what I am passing is alias 25. So now here in the output screen, I have given alias and 25. Here you can see calls with both argument. I am passing two arguments. So now it will give hello alias you are. Next I am passing the age variable what I have given 25. So now in the argument of the function what I have taken, I am passing two arguments. The parameters what I have taken here, I am passing two arguments, that is alias and 25 I am giving. So calls with both argument. Next again I am calling here with the name Bob. So here it will give hello Bob, you are. Now it will take the default value as 18. Now it will take the default value of a age as a 18 because here I have not mentioned the age number. So it will take the default argument, function with a default argument. So calls with one argument and age defaults to 18. So it will give the age 18. So next here I am again calling the greet with no arguments. I have not mentioned any arguments. So it will give the default hello. So what it will take? It will take hello guest, you are 18. Why? Because it is a function with a default arguments, as I have not mentioned any argument. So in this way the default arguments in a function works. So this was about the function with the default arguments. Next we are having inline function. So what do you mean by inline function? How it works? Inline functions are the functions that are expanded in a line when they are called. This means that the compiler replaces the function call with the actual code of the function, which can be lead to faster execution by eliminating the overhead of a function call. So this inline function is mainly used for eliminating the overhead of a function call. So in function call it may gets overhead because different function calling the same function. So to overcome those overhead in the function, we will be using a function called inline. So here you can see the syntax. We will be defining a keyword called inline, and inline return type, function name, parameter and the function body. So as I said, a function means it will be having a function name, the parameters and a return type. Here we will be using a inline keyword. So how this works in a program? So let us see. Here you can see I have taken inline as a keyword, int is the data type, add is the function name, and I am passing two parameters a and b with a data type called int. Next return a plus b. I am doing a simple addition with a return a plus b. So it is, if we consider this in a user defined function, means it is a function with a parameter as well as a return type. So now it is an inline function. So we are using a keyword called inline. Next we are having int main. Int num1 is equals to 5 and num2 is equals to 10. So I have taken two variables num1, num2 and I have assigned the value 5 and 10. Cout sum, here you can see add num1, num2. So now here it calls the inline function. So what is the change? If it is a normal function, how it works, it will call the add function and it will assign the value to a and b, that is the 5 and 10, and again it will perform the addition. Here in the inline it will directly take the return a plus b. It will not go here, it will not go there. It will take directly the return a plus b. Instead of doing this one, it will directly take the return a plus b here. So that's why it is eliminating the overhead of the function call. It eliminates the overhead of the function call by reducing and directly taking the main part, that is called as a inline function. So it will directly take the return a plus b and it will give the sum, the 10 plus 5, that is 15 as a output. So this was about the inline function. So next we are having function overloading. So what is a function we have seen? So how to overload that function in a program? So let us see. Function overloading allows you to define multiple functions with the same name but different parameter list. So we should remember function overloading means the function will be having same name but different parameter list. Same name but different parameters. That is the main thing we should remember in a function. The compiler differentiates the function based on the number of parameters. As I said, a function overloading means same name but a different parameter list. So number of parameters. You can have function with the same name but a different number of parameters. Next, types of parameters. Again, in the parameter we will be having a different parameters. So you can have functions with the same name but different types of parameters. So the type of parameters like int, char, float, double, that may vary. So here a syntax, return type, that is the int, float, double, function name and the parameter types we are mentioning or we are giving. Again the function body. So how this works, how the function overloading takes place in the program. So now the first one, the parameter should have a different type. So the parameter should have a different type. Function overloading, again I am saying it is a function with the same name. So now here you can see I am having a function with the same name called add. Next, the parameter, that is int a, int b, here double a, double b. So now I have taken the parameter with a different type for the functions. That is the first function int and the second function it is double. So now here you can see void add int a, int b, cout sum a plus b. Again I am taking the void add double a, double b. So I have taken the data type different. So here you can see the thing same. I have taken two functions with the same name but different data type. Next, here also cout sum a plus b. So now in the int main I am calling the functions. So now here I am calling the function. So the first function, that is add, I have given integer data type 10 and 2, and the second add function I have given a floating means decimal number because I have taken the data type as a double. So 5.3 and 6.2. So in the output it will give the addition, that is 10 plus 2, that will be in the output screen here. In the first void int, we will be having sum equals 10 plus 2, that is 12. Again this sum is equals to, so this sum is of add double A double B, so we will be getting 11.5. So two functions with the same name but different type of parameters. Next we will be having another way of function overloading. So here parameters should have a different numbers. That was different type, now it is a different number. So now again add is the function name and the parameter here int A, int B, int A, int B, int C, different numbers. So here we are having 2 parameters, here we are having 3 parameters. So in the same way as the previous, here in the function I have taken void add. Here we are passing 2 parameters and here we are passing 3 parameters. So AB in the integer data type, ABC in the integer data type. So again here the sum A plus B, here sum A plus B plus C. So we are having 3 data type with the parameters A, B, C as we are passing. So next here we are calling. So again in the int main the function gets called. So the first, the add with a 2 parameter is called and in the output screen we will be having sum equals 12. Again in the next we are having another function with the same name but different number of parameters. So int A, int B, int C. So we are passing 3 arguments, that is 6, 4, 5. So we are passing 3 parameters. So we will be having sum is equals to 15. Sum is equals to 15. In this way a function overloading takes place, that is parameters having different numbers, Next we are having parameter should have a different sequence of parameters. So there will be a different sequence, means the function names are same, that is add as I taken, the function name will be same, but the parameter type, the sequence of the parameter is changed. Here you can see I have taken int A, in the next double B, here double A int B, means the sequence will be changed in the both. So next, so here the both function is having add as a name and the parameter int A double B double A int B. So now we are having 2 parameters, means the sequence are changed. So again sum A plus B, sum A plus B. So here we are calling. So we are calling the function. So in the output screen, the first function add 10 2.5. So here why we have taken the decimal number, because we are passing the parameter in a double data type. So we are having 2.5. So in the output screen we will be having sum equals 12.5. So in the output screen we will be having 12.5. Next here also we will be having the first, that is the A parameter is in the data type called double. So we are passing a decimal number 5.5 and the whole number 6, because the B value is in a data type called integer. So in the output we will be having 11.5. So this is the output. So in this way we can do function overloading. So function overloading with a different number, with a different type and different sequence of numbers. The function will be same, the function name will be same. Whatever the function name you give. I have taken add, you can take hello as a function. Okay, hello. So the function name, whatever you give, your wish. The function name is what you give. So I have taken add. The function name should be same, but the parameters differs with the data type as well as numbers as well as the sequence. So this was about the function overloading. Next we are having another concept called as call by value and call by reference. To pass arguments to the function, we are having two different methods. So we are having two different methods called call by value, call by reference. So how it differs, how it works. The first thing is a call by value. In call by value, a copy of the actual argument is passed to the function. So in the call by value, a copy of the actual argument, it is a copy, means in the call by value it passes the copy of the actual argument is passed to the function. This means the changes made to the parameter inside the function do not affect the original value or the original variable. So call by value, you should remember call by value means it is a copy of actual argument and also the original value not change. The original value does not get changed. So this is the two main point. The call by value, it is the copy of the actual argument and the original value will not be affected. So let us see how this works. In the syntax, we are having the return type, the function name, data type, parameter and the function body. So in the function, we can see how this works. So here int #include IO stream, the using namespace std, and here we have taken the return type void and increment is the function name what we are giving and int number is the parameter. So now here we are doing num plus plus, means we are incrementing the num value. So this only modifies the copy, it will only modifies the copy. Call by value only modifies the copy of the actual argument. So let us see. Int main, int value 5, increment value, cout value after increment and we are passing the value return 0. So here look, here we are having before function call. So in the before function call, the value is 5. The value is 5. So before the function call, the value is 5. Why? Because here we have taken int value is equals to 5. Inside the function, num is the copy of the value. So incrementing num does not change the value. So inside this num is a copy of the actual value, means actual argument. Now we have done num plus plus, but in the output after the function call, here we have a function call. This is a function call. This is the function call. So in the function call, it just does not modify the value. It should be in the output screen, we should get 6, but we are not passing the address. We are just passing the copy. We are not passing the address. So the output screen, we will be getting the value 5 only. In the output screen, we will be getting the value 5 only. Why? Because it is a copy of the argument. It does not have a address of the actual argument. So that's why value after increment means here in the output screen we will be having value after increment 5 only. So value after increment will be 5 only. Why? Because we are not passing the address, we are passing the copy of the actual argument. So this was about the call by value. Next we are having call by reference. So what is call by reference? Call by reference. In call by reference, a reference or the alias to the actual argument is passed to the function. This allows a function to modify the original value. So the call by value is a copy of the actual argument, but the call by reference passes the actual parameter. So it passes the actual argument. It passes the actual argument. So here it will not passes the copy, it will directly passes the value that we are giving in the arguments. So now return type, the syntax, function name, data type, and here you can see we are having AND operator. So the data type and operator. So this is an address. It stores the address of the parameter. So this symbol is the address, means we are passing the actual argument. So we are using operator called AND, means we are using AND symbol that have the address of the parameter. So let us see how this works in a program. So here you can see we are having int main and void increment int. So void is the return type, increment is the function name, and we are having int data type with and num. So we are using AND symbol with the parameter called num. So here it will be having the address of the num, and we are incrementing the num, that is num plus plus. So this modifies the original variable. It modifies the original variable. So int main, we are taken int value is equals to 5, increment value, so here it will take 5, value after increment, so here we are passing those variable, so output becomes 6. So before function call the value was 5 what we have passed. Inside the function the num is a reference to the value, so incrementing num also increments the value. So this num is a reference. We are using this num as a reference for the value. We are using the num as a reference for the value. Why? Because we are using the address. We are passing the actual argument. So that's why in the inside function the num is referred to the value. So after function call the value becomes 6. The value becomes 6. So previous you can see here we are just taken int num. There is no AND operator or AND symbol. But here you can see we are using AND here. So that's why it is a call by reference. We are passing the actual argument, actual address of the parameter what we have taken. So this is the main thing about the call by value and a call by reference. The call by value is where it is a copy of the actual argument and the value does not change. But in the call by reference, it passes the original actual argument, that is the address, and also the value gets changed. The value gets changed. So this was a call by value and a call by reference. Next we are having math library function. The math library provides a variety of mathematical functions to perform common operation, the common mathematical operations. To use this function, we have to typically include the CMath header. So we are including a header called CMath. So there are common functions that comes in the math library functions. These are already built-in math library functions that are available in the CMath library of the C++. What library? We are using the CMath header files. So these are already present in those header files. So the first one is the square root, means we are having SQRT, means the square root function computes the square root of x. Next we are having power with a base and exponent. So this rises the base to the power of exponent, and the abs means absolute of function that returns the absolute value of the x, means using fab for floating point values. We are having a floating point, means we will be using fabs here. Next we are having floor x. This will round x down to the nearest integer, means rounding the number or rounding the floating point numbers, decimal numbers. Next we are having round x. This rounds the nearest integer. So now next we are having the floor x, rounds x down to the nearest integer. To the nearest integer the floor function gets rounded. So next we are having the round x. So next we are having round x to the nearest integer. It will round the floating point or a decimal point number. Next sine, cos and tan, the trigonometry function like cos, sine, tan. So this will give a So this will give a trigonometric functions input in radians. So this will give in a trigonometric way. It will give a trigonometric value of the sine, cos and tan thing. Next we are having the log x. So returns the natural algorithm base e of the x. So the base is will be a e of the algorithm what we are using. So these are the simple common functions that are available in the math library functions, that are the square root, power, abs, floor, round. So how this works in a program? So let us see. So here we are having a simple C++ program to demonstrate how the math library function works. Double num 9.0. I have taken the double data type with a variable num and a value 9.0. Next we are having cout square root of num, and here I am passing the math library function called square root. So in the cout I am taking double quote square root and the num, the variable what I have declared here, and also the function I am passing square root of num. So here the square root of 9.0. So what is the square root? It will be giving 3.0. So it will be giving the square root of 9 as a 3. So next we are having cout 2 raised to the power of 3. So we are taking or we are passing power 2, 3. So base will be 2 and the exponent will be 3 and the value will be 8. So 2 to the power of 3 is 8. So we will be getting in the output the value is 8. So next we are having absolute value of minus 10. So what is the absolute value of minus 10? It will take the function called abs and it will take minus 10, means I am directly giving minus 10 value. So in the output screen we will be getting the value 10. So absolute, so it will remove the negative and it will give the 10 as the output. Next we are having sine value of 1. So what is the value of sine 1? It may be like 0.824 or 42, some sine value we will be getting. So this is about the math library function. So in the output screen we will be getting the values what we have passed as the function, like square root, power, abs and last sine. So these are the simple, the available math library function what we are using in the C++ program, like square root, power, abs and sine. So we can use different like round, floor, tan, cos also. So this is a simple example. So this was about unit 2 modular programming. We have learned what is the function, types of function, recursion, inline function, the function with default arguments, and what is the function overloading, how do we do the overloading in a different ways, and also what do you mean by call by value, call by reference, at the last the math library function. So this completes the unit 2 of the problem solving using C++. Thank you.